This is Amanda Ray, and I am your host for the Musicians Corner. I'm here with Rhea Brown.
Hello.
And we are also here this evening with March to August, our friends Derek and Jody Mears. How are you guys this evening?
Hey,
Hi, guys.
we're great. So
We're
thanks
good.
for having us. We're
How
so
are you
glad to
all?
be here.
We are doing well, and we are excited to have you in the studio with us. So I'm going to read a little bit of an intro. I was looking at your website. You have a lovely website. It's marchtoaugust.com. For anyone out there who is curious, I'm going to just read a little snippet here. March to August, M2A, is a string duo comprised of Derek and Jody Mears, based out of the Ozark Mountains. Known for storytelling, thought-provoking lyrics, and varied instrument configurations, their roots-driven style melds element of Americana, alt-country, and bluegrass genres, music with powerful songwriting. Derek's rich vocals combined with banjo, guitar, harmonica, and Jody's rhythmic foundation, powered by bass, stomp box percussion, and lap steel, round out an unexpected full sound from just two musicians. Their live shows engage listeners through stories, humorous banter, and unexpected random nuggets, facts, and trivia from their ongoing and extensive web searches. Dang, who wrote all that, man? That's a beautifully written website.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
And we are going to play all of that, I hope, and get that out there.
You don't have to.
That is great. That is great information. And you've actually got some quotes here, an email from an attendee of the Walton Arts Center Artisphere show. At the Mildred B. Cooper Chapel noted they're so talented, and it was so lovely to listen to them in the chapel while surrounded by nature. It was sold out, and it looked like everyone loved it. Well, I remember being in a room with you guys about 10 years ago down at Nomads at Southtown.
Yes.
Nomads,
And
yes.
I do believe that is when we met. So that has been about 10 years.
It's been about 10 years.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
At least.
Maybe 11,
Maybe
but
11.
we'll go with 10.
We'll just round down
There we
for,
go.
for our
There we go.
ages, circumstances. And so
Yes.
that's why I'm really, really excited to introduce you to Rhea, my friend here. And that's been kind of our mission here at the Musicians Corner, is along the way of me wanting her to meet some of the people that I think are just really the coolest musicians ever. I want to introduce you guys to the world as well. So that being said, Rhea, I'm going to let you go ahead and ask your questions as if you are the world wanting to get to
Okay.
know March to August.
So she hasn't failed me yet. So far, every artist that she's introduced me to, that she has raved about, has literally been amazing and blows my mind. I came from San Diego, and I did something similar to this as my own private podcast with metal music, because my husband is a metal singer and we were heavily involved in the music scene out there. And so I love music, but I love all genres of music. And so when I heard you guys, I was like, holy moly, you guys are so good. And just like it said in the bio, storytellers, every single song seems like it tells a different story, which I absolutely love. Yet they still are together in this kind of like similar, I wouldn't even say genre. It's just you can tell it's you guys in each song.
It's
you know,
a very
it's like
cohesive
yeah. How
sound
do
and
I say
story.
that? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Is
Thank
that
you.
even though each one is it's almost like a book that has different chapters or something, which I
You say
really
a book.
love. You know what I mean? Like just
Don't you have an album out out about
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly that?
Well, and maybe this is why we write concept albums.
Mm-hmm.
We started.
So for
on-
listeners
this is
out
our
there who
second
don't
series.
quite understand, and well, maybe
Yeah.
myself even, explain to me, if you will, what is a concept album?
It's the most un-Spotify album you could write in today's world, I think.
I love that.
But it's where every song, the songs are sequenced in
In an order.
in order to tell a story from start to finish.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you mean how
So the
actually, like how they used to be done on vinyl? You would get it. You would go to the record store. You'd bring home your vinyl or your cassette, and you would pop that thing in and start to finish.
Yes.
There was no skipping.
That
You
makes
skip
so
a
much
track?
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. There was no.
Yeah. So,
And for those out there who don't know what skip a track means, we had these things called Walkmans and CD players
Yes.
that you could actually
Little
push a
arrow.
button and get to the next song.
Yes.
Now it's just a little click on a screen,
Yeah.
but this is a concept album. So
Yeah.
from start to finish, you're going to tell us a story.
So
Yeah,
our
so-
first one was in 2024. We released songs inspired by Witness, which was inspired by a teen fiction book called Witness, set during Prohibition in a small town in Vermont, and Karen Heese was the author.
yes.
And so we basically we loved that book. The book was just so good, and so
Yeah.
we just told more of the story of these.
Well, I
characters
just
and brought
kept
characters
pushing
to
you.
life.
You
Yes, you
wrote
did.
the first. You wrote the first song, and then there were about 3 songs that were very much in our sets, and I just kept saying, "This has to be a whole album. We have to tell the whole story."
So, but where did this come from? Where did the book, who brought the book home first?
It was me. So I was an educator for 30 years. I
She
was
was a
an
middle school
English language
middle
arts
school
teacher.
English arts teacher.
And
That's where it came from.
it was
School
one of the
library.
books that I had for book talks for my students, mostly my 7th or 8th grade kids, because it's a teen fiction book. It's called Witness, and it's written in poetry, and my kids just loved the book. And then I've read it. I think I've read it maybe a dozen times, and it's just rich. It's heavy. It's dark. It's rich, and
And you heard music there.
Yes.
You you play bass. You
Yeah.
provide that foundation, that moodiness. So I feel like
Yeah.
that maybe that kind of emoted through.
there's so much about that book. I just kept nagging at him.
Yeah.
We have to keep writing. And so 8 years later, then
It was 8 years. of
12
writing on
songs
this song.
in, and
Oh,
we
no.
finally have an album. So
What does that process look like for you? I'm
Ooh,
genuinely
that would
curious. You
be-
live together,
Mhm.
you write music together, you play together every day. So when she's, as she says, nagging, I'm grateful for that nag because we've had some good stuff out of it. But when she brings that to you, what does this process look like? You're the songwriter, you write
Mhm.
lyrics.
Mhm.
And so what does that look like?
Yeah, and parts of it with that album in particular were like, what character? We had 3 or 4 songs that had kind of come about because it's like,
kind of like little character sketches,
Yeah.
telling more of
Yeah,
the
which
story.
point of view are you going to adapt?
Yes.
so
because
yeah.
because that was the unique part of the book, is that there were something like 12 characters. Every couple of pages was a new character.
Yeah, it's a change.
Okay,
And-
and a lot of the songs are written from different points of view.
Yeah.
You bet.
What
That's-
happened
Yes.
with that album that we were struggling trying to figure out how to make this a concept record, and it just dawned on me the day that there's a character in the book named Raynard Alexander who was the town newspaper editor, and it just hit me one day that there's our narrator. He's going to tell the story of what's happening in this small town. And so the whole album comes from the perspective of Raynard Alexander telling
Yeah.
the story.
That's
And
why
so
it
that's-
has like a part 1 and a part 2 and a part 3.
Have you contacted the author of this book?
Yes.
We did.
Yes, she did. We did that first. Actually,
We did.
We did a reach
because
out to her first.
I thought we might need permission to
Right.
do this. We should ask.
What was her response?
Her first response, I think, she lives in Vermont, and of course, she is a Newbery award-winning teen fiction author.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well-known author. And so we contacted her first and said, "Hey, we are, because here's who we are. We know we're March to August. We're a duo from Arkansas writing this. Want to write a album based, on characters of your book."
Inspired by
And I think her
Witness.
first thing was, crazy Arkansas string band.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
Yeah, she didn't
good
say
luck
it,
with your
but,
project. That's literally what we got back.
Yeah,
Good
so
luck
she
with your
has a
project. So
WordPress.
we assumed that was yes.
That was
So-
a green light for you. That's all you needed.
That's
Yeah.
all.
And then by the time it was done, we really started corresponding back and forth, and she really loved what we did with the characters. I mean, we got great feedback. She's on a mission to get us to Vermont
Yes.
to play it live.
She's emailed me several
Yes,
times.
Oh, that's
yes. And
amazing.
so
Yeah.
it became a
Yeah.
really
Fan
neat
now.
connection
That
for her.
is so
Yeah.
fascinating.
So
Yeah.
how many songs are on the album?
So that one had
I think it's
11
11. Yeah.
songs on
Because
it. Yes.
Jade, so our daughter played with us for 8 years. And we mentioned that we were a 4-piece, and then we were a 3-piece with her. And she stepped away in 2022 because her life kind of really revved up. She got married a year later, had a baby. And so, you know,
the
her-
normal things you do when you grow up.
Exactly. Yes. And so that's when we decided that we would form the duo.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so back up a little bit. So growing up in the house with you two, I'd imagine there's probably not just a lot of sitting around watching junk TV and, you know, there's book reading, and then you obviously as a family started writing music together.
Yeah, it really was strange.
Well, you've always been right. Derek
Yeah.
is always so. Derek started as a singer songwriter when we first met.
Mhm.
Wrote a song
When
for
was
our
this?
wedding. The 19-something.
19-somethings.
We'll leave it at the 1900s.
19-something. Yeah, I think the first song that I wrote was for our wedding in
Yes.
1989.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
beautiful.
very
it was
sweet.
It was a whirlwind kindergarten romance, and you know,
That's sweet. That's so sweet.
So
So-
he's always been writing songs.
Yeah.
So he's really the process guy. And then Jade was sitting at the table 11 years ago, and we had just moved here from the Pacific Northwest, Bellingham, Washington. And Derek was just noodling around and said, I really wish I had a band I could play with. You know, we've been here like 2 weeks. And Jade said, well, we'll be in a band with
yeah, we
you.
could form a band,
Oh,
and we didn't think. And it was
She could
kind of-
hardly play guitar.
that's
I
so
couldn't play
sweet.
anything.
Yeah. And I don't think she
Wow.
would. Honestly, when I look back in hindsight, I'm not sure she was serious. It might have just been like a sarcastic.
But you took it
but
very
we took it
serious.
serious and said, "Okay, let's do it." You know, so.
And you did well with that. I mean, she in her own right is a darn good musician.
Yes,
she was.
yes,
Very
and
good
that was what I wanted to say is that we brought her back to sing on songs inspired by Witness. She sang the song "Only the River."
Yeah, she sang one song on
Yeah.
that album.
Okay, the listeners cannot see the goosebumps I have and how
Yeah.
excited I am
And
to
that
know
was-
that you brought her back for
that
this.
was
Yeah, we brought
really
it back for that one
special.
album
Yeah,
or that one
yeah.
song.
And we tried to get her on this one, but we just could not
Just
get the
couldn't do it
timing
for the new
right.
album.
It was just
Yeah.
really
And
hard.
she's still got a young one
yeah,
at
Yes.
home, and
Yes.
it will. I truly believe that will happen again, and it will evolve as it should. And
Yeah.
that this time for you guys as a duo, crafting this story that may not have even happened
yeah.
had Jade stayed
Yeah,
a part of the project.
I think it was because we
That's a good point.
when she stepped away, it kind of opened up the opportunities because she was, you know, finishing college, starting job, and this kind of stuff, and we were kind of at the opposite end of the spectrum of our careers. Like, I've waited too many years to do this because this is what I really wanted to do for a job. But like so many artists, you know, you have the day job.
We
that
all
this
Pay
have
is-
the
day-
bills.
yeah.
Yes.
So to pay the
Yes.
bills. And so, you know, that was when she stepped away, we almost kind of went, you know, it kind of opened up doors to begin doing some other things and touring more. And
Was it
traveling
almost
more.
like that empty nest moment?
Yeah.
We call
But for music.
it open door.
open door?
Open. It's
Love
the
that.
open door. You
So
know.
you guys have an album coming out like tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah, we're doing an album release
we
tomorrow
record.
night. Yeah, as we
Okay.
record. We're doing an album release tomorrow
Album
night for the new
release.
album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
At
the
the
album-
medium.
The album comes out May 29th. So the end of the month. But this is another concept record, except this one we rewrote a short story about a long haul trucker who had spent 30 years of his life and made mistakes and is, you know, along the way and kind of begins to, you know, look for, you know, to find redemption for the mistakes he's made in his life and begin to try to repair damage that, you know, between his
Broken
relationships and family.
Relationships. Yeah.
And so this record kind of started as a probably one of the big we were in Florida and we were coming back from playing in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and that's when we realized we should route better because we had played shows all the way to New Smyrna Beach and then woke up and realized it was 19 hours to drive home. That was one of those. So
Yeah.
That's when all the, you know, we're talking about Googling in our website. That's kind of when the Googling started, I think, because we kind of had this idea and we came up on Highway 75, which realized it was from South Florida all the way Canadian border. And the wheels just kind of started turning with this idea of this this truck driver that drives that stretch of highway and has done it his entire career, and family and people he's met along the way, and so the story just kind of formed from there, and it began to be pieces that came from lots of different tour experiences that kind of went into the story, that we kind of wove into the story of this truck driver.
And you mentioned that you're going to be recording this. You have a show tomorrow, but
Yes.
you're going to be recording elements of this for video to put together a music video to go along with this. I can imagine. I mean, your songs have such great descriptors as a writer.
You can see the
absolutely
movie in your
bring us-
head. You know what I mean?
You absolutely bring us along. So to finally bring those things together, marry the visual with the audio, with the songs.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Have you ever thought about submitting some of your stuff to movies or to Hollywood?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
The peripheral Hollywood,
the
if you
sync
will.
licensing,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah, we it's really a matter of we don't really know how to do that, or whom.
Well, I did for a while.
submit?
I mean,
Well,
there
for authors, they have publishers.
yeah.
And so you would hope that for songwriters, we really need to know more about what that process looks like.
I mean, I know that I did some of that because there was a phase with Life Happens that I really focused on just being a songwriter. I wasn't performing live much and was just writing and submitting and writing, submitting. And so I did a lot of pitches for those kind of things at that time.
It was through Taxi.
Through Taxi, which was an A&R agency that did a lot of advertising, film, TV, that kind of thing. And lots of things that ended up on short list, ended up on hold, but nothing actually stuck, and then, as that happened, I kind of realized that I began to shift, I'd rather perform it myself than keep shopping it out to all of this and getting feedback. We don't like that. We don't like that. We don't like that. And I'm like, well, that's okay. That's
well, because you spend all the time writing and you put a piece of yourself in every song.
You do.
And to give it up, number one, is somebody that they don't listen to it the way you would,
or not have it used,
and have somebody take it. I mean, I guess it's great if somebody were to buy your song, take it and remix it over dubstep, and it sells 1 million copies. I mean, that's cool, but that's not. I don't think that's really why we're in this art form, the storytelling style.
Yes,
and that's why I would love to see your art with that visual. And so if anybody out there is listening and can tell us how to get music into movies, contact us here at the Musicians Corner. I really feel that there should be more known. And we do have such a wonderful community out there of musicians in our area and, all over the world. We have listeners chiming in from everywhere. This is episode number 5, and we started out of the blue, out of nowhere, and we've got the most amazing feedback so far. I know we've got listeners out there that can help put us on the track to get March to August music on some form of film production.
If you're listening, go look them up. They have a lot of things, a lot of
filming?
a lot of songs on YouTube.
And who's filming what's coming up next? The tomorrow thing. Who's filming that?
Actually, we have her name's Emily Spivey, and she's from Oklahoma, and she worked a long time with KTSU television in their Good Morning Tulsa show.
Oh, that's
and we met her
Yes.
a long time ago when we did this thing as when our daughter was with us, the trio. We did this thing called Route 66 or Route 66.
Studio.
It was a studio
With RSU.
session where they did interview and live performance, and it was a whole TV show thing that we did with them. And so we met her then, and we've just kind of stayed in touch over the years.
As you do.
And we, she was kind of transitioning in her work and was doing more independent type things, and we kind of said, hey, would you want to come do this? And she was like, yes. So she's going to be videoing this as well, so we get a chance to have some video pieces of it too.
Well, a huge shout out for her. We can't wait to see what you've got coming up. And on that note, we're going to take a listen at a song right now from March to August. You are listening to KPSQ WLP Fayetteville Public Square Community Radio. It's 97.3 FM, and you are in the Musician's Corner.
We're March to August, and this is our song, Marianne.
I spend my moments well into each night, wheels upon the highway, asphalt and headlights. I tell you a story, maybe hard to understand, a tale of the Reverend's wife, Marianne. I picked her up on a dusky night as she was walking down the side of the highway on the outskirts of town. She told me how the Reverend pulled to the side of the road, back of the hand, and a rage again, saying, Satan, don't speak to my wife no more. She said, a preacher's wife, it ain't the life you see on Sunday morn, covering for that liar singing in his choir, my salvation's waiting outside the door. I can't go back to his church, he ain't doing the Lord's work, you ain't gonna see me again. Oh, a preacher's wife, it ain't no life, I'll take my chances on a life of sin. As I drove her to the station, she said, he may seem like a righteous man, there's an evil inside too dark to comprehend. So I bought her a midnight ticket, where to I'll never tell. Any place will seem like heaven, where your living is like hell. She said, a preacher's wife, it ain't a lie you see on Sunday morn, covering for that liar singing in his choir, while salvation's waiting outside the door. I can't go back to his church, he ain't doing the Lord's work, you ain't gonna see me again. Oh, preacher's wife, it ain't no life, I'll take my chances on a life of sin. She said, a preacher's wife, it ain't the life you see on Sunday morn, covering for that liar singing in his choir, my salvation's waiting outside the door. I can't go back to his church, he ain't doing the Lord's work, you ain't gonna see me again. Oh, a preacher's wife, it ain't no life, I'll take my chances on a life of sin. She said, a preacher's wife, it ain't no life, I'll take my chances on a life of sin.
I kind of just would like to launch into conversation with Rhea. Rhea has a notebook over there.
Uh-oh, okay.
And she's been doing
Sure.
research. I send her at the beginning of the week, I'll send her like who she's going to be meeting, and then she'll kind of go do a little deep dive. And that's when I started doing, I realized
24 hours of March to August.
I was taken for granted. I'm like, I know these people so well. I know them so well. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I haven't taken a look on their website. I need to, okay. So Rhea's
It's
doing
okay.
Ria's doing the actual. Let me go do what she's doing now. And but she prepared some questions.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
yeah, I just, as I was listening to you guys over the last 24 hours, like I said, actually she sent me a couple songs last week too. I was just kind of jotting down, the way I was feeling, thoughts that I was having. The first thing I told Amanda is that your music is really comforting. Like all growing up, I was raised on classic country as well as, classic rock. And, I was born in the 80s. So I, have a lot of that kind of, older music ingrained in my brain from when I was younger. And, you guys have that real kind of old timey feel, yet really modern, like lyrics, as well as there's some similarities of like influences that I heard in the voice, and it could be just how you sound, but like James Taylor or Dwight Yoakam a little. Whiskey Town, when you guys first come in, I heard a little bit of the Alison Krauss song, You Say It Best.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The very beginning,
Yeah.
when I heard that, I heard a little bit of that song. And now meeting you guys, music is frequency. I believe in frequencies. Your music gives off the same kind of frequency that you guys give off. I'm a vibe person.
I'm still loving that Dwight Yoakam reference.
Yeah.
I'm going back. I'm like, that is a
little
very
bit,
unique voice, and she's not wrong at all.
I've heard that one.
So the song that I
Thank
thought that Way
Yeah.
Back Home a little bit,
Yes.
right when you come in. That's what I heard, a little bit of that sound.
Yeah.
And, like I said before, just listening to each song, I heard a story in each one, and I just resonate with that so much because, growing up, seeing people go through addiction, go through, terrible things in their lives, having that turnaround moment, that almost like come to Jesus moment, that, like the song Way Back Home, like I said, that one is so real because so many people go through the darkest of times and they turn around and can be the most powerful people for others and for, even themselves.
Yes.
And can really just have the most powerful impact on the world once they've been through terrible things. And just knowing you have that support that you can go back home anytime, no matter what you go through. I love that message.
Where did you guys come up with that? Is that specifically written
that was
about?
a COVID.
That was during
That was our
COVID.
COVID song. I guess that
That
was the COVID
was the
song.
COVID music.
Yeah. The COVID
And we
music.
still kind of we spat about this, or we fight about this one, because you say when you wrote this song you felt it was about you. You were writing about yourself. And I say you were writing about Jade. You look tired. That very beginning, you look tired, and I can tell that you've not been sleeping well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I just felt like, there was a
so
lot of
mom sees
There's
in
a
her
lot of-
perspective
Yeah.
sees a dad writing a song about his
Yeah.
daughter.
Mhm.
But he says, it was me. And then there's a line there that I always, you talk about the movie, something, the music that it
Can't
tells.
turn off the movies and
Can't turn off the movies in your head.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, why I'm always say, why didn't you say music? Because they both, and I do too. I if there's something that gets stuck, it just doesn't go.
Mm-hmm.
The earworms and
Yeah.
see, and I always wondered anyway. That's so.
I
There's
love
our
that little
process.
So this is our process.
This is our
Yeah.
process.
She's
I
the
love
wordsmith.
this.
Yeah.
So
she's the
you're
wordsmith.
wondering
Yeah.
how does
I do
this
truly want to
stuff
know. And when I met you
happen?
guys, when I met you, it was a million years ago when I started. You can go find it still on YouTube. It's the Songwriters Circles.
Mhm.
And I went specifically to go dive for the episode where I had interviewed you. And I realized this morning that is why I have the nickname Raging Banjos
Yes.
for you.
Raging Banjo came from there.
Yes,
it came
because-
from there.
Because
Yes, it did.
you're not going to find a video on that Songwriter Circles channel. You're not going to hear audio because this over 11 years ago, I think you said, I did not have the right equipment to
I remember
be prepared
Something
for
happened.
what you brought to
Glitches,
us that day. That was it. But I started that as an insecure songwriter, as someone, I had written a couple of songs and I competed in a little thing, and I learned a heck of a lot. But then I also learned that I was not surrounded by anybody who could teach me anything about writing music. I knew session players, if you will, lack of a better word, a gig player, those hired guns that you call to play a cover band. And, those guys are great, but they don't write a damn thing, damn thing. So where was I going to learn how to write? So Efren White had hosted a Songwriters in the Round situation many, many, many years ago. And right as I was starting to get the gumption and the audacity to call myself a songwriter, the man moved to Nashville.
Yes.
And Efren, I'm hoping you're listening, because I'm waiting for you to come back to Fayetteville and give us this interview, because I love you dearly. And
So great.
it's because he did inspire me, even just watching from afar, from outside the room. When he left, it left a hole for
Yes.
that type of conversation, for a songwriter's conversation. So I approached a local. Oh, actually, there was a house. It was a house when I started. It was at the Sick House, and then we moved to Nomads because it outgrew. But it was really just so I could put myself in a room with other people who called themselves songwriters and pick their brains. How'd you do that? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Was it the music? Was it the lyrics?
Yeah.
Where do you write? I remember some of my favorite questions is where were you in space and time physically when you came up with that line? And a lot of the answers were, I was driving. I was on the road. There was a lot of that. And you actually just repeated or mentioned that earlier in the story, that you got that whole, what highway was it again?
Highway 75.
And there's the song Highways and Honky Tonks, right?
Yes.
That's from the new album,
part of the
right?
new album.
That's
Yes.
okay.
There's
Yeah.
definitely something to be
Yeah.
said
Love
for those road trips.
That's a fun song.
and writing music.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and watching you guys evolve and live here in Northwest Arkansas, but travel outside and carry your music. And again, you're going to Vermont soon, possibly.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see on that one.
It's
We'll
a
see on that
long
one.
ways. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to take another really short break, and we're going to listen to some more March to August. We will be right back.
We're March to August.
You're listening to KPSQ LP Fayetteville.
And this is Whiskey Town. Feels like fractured memories are all I'm leaving here. And the good ones, they've all seemed to disappear. So everything I own's in the backseat of this car. If I don't go now, I won't get far. Oh, I wish I could just stay here with you. It seems easier than what I'm going through. There's been too many heartaches, too many times. It's time I say goodbye. So I'm gonna drive away before I cross that line. 'Cause I haven't been this straight for such a long time. You're like a drink that's too strong to put down. And I ain't going back to Whiskey Town. Whiskey Town was the place where we first met. in a state that I would just as soon forget. It's where I lost you and lost control at the same time. More drinking won't get you off my mind. So I'm gonna drive away before I cross that line. 'Cause I haven't been this straight for such a long time. You're like a drink that's too strong to put down. And I ain't going back to Whiskey Town. And my hands are shaking and this bed is oh so cold. And my body aches from my head down to my soul. They say the bottom's such a lonely place to be. I can feel the rocks piling up on me. So I'm gonna drive away before I cross that line. 'Cause I haven't been this straight for such a long time. You're like a drink that's too strong to put down. And I ain't going back to Whiskey Town.
So how are you liking Fayetteville?
I love it.
Good.
So my grandparents, they moved here from San Diego about, she's like 35 years ago or 30 something years ago when I was about 12, 33, 30 something like that. And we were very close. And so my mom used to send us here for the summers all the time. And it was in Elkins.
Did you like vacation Bible school? All right, so wait, hold on, back up. You came here during the summers in Elkins, but like the Goshen area though, right?
Yeah, it's right in between Goshen and Elkins, and
that's when I came to visit for the summers.
It's actually technically Goshen, I think, but they don't have a school or like anything, and so they gave us the.
They have a fence line.
Yeah, they have a fence line.
There's a fence line.
So then my grandpa, about 15 years ago, he passed away. And my grandma was by herself. And my other aunt was here, but she has 4 daughters. And so my mom then moved over to be close to her. And then I just followed my mom not too long after she moved. And I love it. I'm 45 now, and I spent a lot of years just running around in San Diego, and didn't have my first child till I was 31. And so now I have a 14-year-old and a 11-year-old. And I'm tired. I feel like this is my pre-retirement.
Yes,
like I absolutely
busy,
love
crazy
it.
busy.
Love being surrounded by the trees. Love all the greenery and the birds, and it's just like very peaceful and exactly what I need right now. Been here for about 3 years, and I'm loving it.
What's your opinion of our music scene, Ria?
I love it. It's just different because it's not what I'm used to.
What is it like out there?
It's
out there,
wild.
Out in California.
It feels like that though, like
so,
in other places. What is the scene?
Yeah. So San Diego is like kind of like the nicer, kind of prettier, more chill version of like LA. LA is like San Diego on steroids, but it's very chill. It's very like, surfer kind of mentality, but the hustle and bustle has definitely grown a lot. And so now it's just getting crazy too, I mean, I don't know.
Do bands support each other? Do they show up at each other's shows?
Oh, yeah.
Do-
Yeah, so like I said, I was involved in the metal scene, and so they call each other Metal Family. Like it's
Well, yeah, usually
it's
there's like
huge.
10 bands on a bill.
Yeah,
every
they're all
metal show.
and so it's like they all support each other. It's a very family like people there have been friends and playing shows together for like 20 years.
Some of my best friends and family, people I would call family, are metalheads. And honestly, like, Derek, Jody, have you guys ever been in a mosh pit?
I want to say,
You know, a funny story. A few years ago, when Meteor Guitar Gallery was in Bentonville, and there was a brand, I can't remember off the top of my head, this brand that put out a thing for a battle of the bands. So we entered, and it was us and 9 heavy metal bands. And so
That's awesome.
and at that time we were really, we just kind of released the album that was really folky, banjo driven, kind of rage banjo, bluegrassy type thing we did. And it's like, we're like, what in the world have we walked into to begin with? And it was the most fun night. I mean, they loved, they all were so supportive.
They were
and
so
loved
great.
they were
of
more,
course, we weren't
they
even,
were more supportive than like our genre people.
Yeah, the metal
Okay, so
community.
crazy.
They were
The
like-
metal community.
So
They were like, dude,
Yeah.
Where
For sure.
where does your audience live? Where have you found the best response and the best reception? Is it on the road?
On the road, really. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on the road.
that's
Yeah,
true.
we just got
Although-
back. I mean, we just got back from Indiana. We were in Indiana for 4 days and just had 3 just great shows. We played a festival with Front Porch. Those guys are from Eureka Springs.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and which was great because we got to see them live for the first time because we're all running around all the time and don't ever get to see each other play. But this was just such an amazing festival that and so supportive and we find that a lot on the road, and we have pockets of it here, with things. But for us, I think probably the best shows we have around are more not really venue based. They're festivals, they're special events and those kind of things.
I would like to add though, in Kansas City, there's a venue called Stockyards Brewing
Yes,
down in the
love
West
Stockyards.
Bottoms. So they've been playing. They have what's called the Sunday service.
bluegrass. Yeah,
I love Kansas.
Yes.
Bluegrass, and a couple years ago they tried us out on a Saturday because they don't normally put duos on Sunday
Yeah, it's
on the
normally
Sunday service. But I guess we make enough noise.
you're making enough noise for
Yes,
2
you
people.
do.
She's Melissa said, "Yeah, I think we can have you on a Sunday. That's
Yeah.
okay." And it can be just standing room packed.
Kansas
It
City has a
just-
very special music scene as well. I mean,
We found. I feel like it's a matter of us finding our niche. Where is it that people enjoy what we play? Because it's kind of. We swing from one genre to another, from song to song.
whatever you need to do to tell
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Whatever you need to do to get the story
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But you can follow along. And again, I mentioned earlier, we've got March to August.com for your website.
Yes.
And
yes.
what's your next planned little tour? And I don't like the word because the word to me sounds like, oh, it's going to be commercialized and it's sponsored by so-and-so. And where do you plan on getting in the car and going next to play music?
let's say we're headed to Colorado in June. So
Nice.
we're doing a
Yeah.
two week run through Colorado, which we've done.
Where in Colorado?
We're starting in Pagosa Springs, and we're going to Pagosa Springs up into Breckenridge and Denver and Divide, and then on up, and we finish in Fort Collins. And then Whiskey Town, which is a song we played earlier, is actually a finalist in the Rocky Mountain Songwriter Competition. So we're headed to Red Lodge, Montana at the end of that tour in June, where we get to compete with the top 10 out there for, I don't know, compete is such a bad word in songwriting because it's just, I don't know what that means. But
I think for me, it implies there's a scorecard. It's not necessarily against
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
people. It's
Yeah.
against a set of rules
Yeah.
and regulations.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a we're just feeling very, very grateful to have gotten in. We've been
You're
trying to
already
get into
winning.
That's cool.
Trying to get
Oh,
into that.
thank you.
We've tried to get into that contest for 10 years or more.
I think
Every
that's
year,
honestly
that's
the
like-
point of things like that is to be able to network and mingle with
Make new
like-minded
fans.
people.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Rhea said it, she nailed it. You already win by being accepted
Yes.
into anything that's called a competition in art. Really, at that level, it's just down to ones and zeros. It's down to regulations that they had to come up with before you guys ever walked in the room or before they
Exactly.
ever saw you. And the true opportunity, the true gems that you're going to dig out of there is not going to be anything associated with a scorecard.
Yeah.
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 So what's the name of the album coming out?
Highway 75 is the name of the new album.
Okay, and we said that
Yeah.
already, right?
Yeah, but I need to know, and because I am going to have to. I love a road trip, and I'm going to have to get on Highway 75 and listen to this album.
Yes.
Can I ask you the name of the songs that are on that one?
Oh, man.
So
You-
there's
you got-
11.
You got the list?
11 on the new one?
There is 13.
or 11's on the other
Yeah.
one about the book.
Right.
Yeah, this one has 13.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let me find it.
You have the list?
So yeah, because we have to write things down for everything.
So here we go.
So, okay.
So it starts off with highways and honky tonks.
Okay.
Which
So
is what
imagine these are the mistakes he's making. He's younger.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, I love this. do this.
Okay.
yes.
keep
So
going.
and then it goes into too many, which he's
Too many.
still making mistakes.
Had
Yeah, too many.
beers.
These are the types of
Yeah.
mistakes he's making. Okay.
And then as the story flows, the next song is Highway 75, the title track, which is where things fall apart in his relationships because of the honky tonks and the too minis. Heartaches, headaches, and beers, and after things have fallen apart. So he's living in the bar by that time.
Yeah, man.
Living in the bar,
Living in luxury in the sleeper cab
living in luxury,
and
in
on
the
this
sticker
bar
cab.
stool right
Yeah.
here.
This is a bar. And then
Sorry, I know these
Yeah.
lyrics.
I love it.
and then
So there's a little humor. I mean, there's actually,
There's
that's
got to be humor
that
in
was
it.
the
It's
other-
real life.
See, that was the other part is that Witness was so heavy. I mean, the whole story behind Witness is that there is a preacher who comes into the town, or he's in the town, and he tries to bring in the KKK. I'm not kidding
to
you.
Vermont.
1920.
Yeah, 20s,
Vermont.
1920s.
Okay.
And that's real history. That's
Yeah.
real history. And then she wrote the story about that.
Wow, I need to
Oh.
read this book.
This
now.
is we're gonna have to do a whole new episode
you-
just on this one
you can-
thing.
You do need to read it. And
We should.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
keep
the
going, I'm
author?
sorry.
One more time.
We'll
what
have a
was the
book club.
author's name? We need a book
Karen
club.
Heath.
Peace. HESSE.
Okay, now
Karen
back to the
Heath.
album.
Okay. Okay.
So then we have an
Squirrel.
instrumental. We have an instrumental called Red Top Mountain Hailstorm, which is actually the turning point. He kind of has a near death experience, but it's also based on a real life hailstorm we drove through in
Yes.
Colorado, and I had to set a hailstorm to music with a banjo. That was the, and then after that he begins to basically try to come to realize the mistakes he's made. So Breach This Distance is when he's trying to reconnect with his son and and have a relationship. And then Whiskey Town, the song we played that's the sober up.
Okay.
It's time to sober up.
Yes. I
Yes.
was going to say, I picture like a cowboy with his thumb out as the song plays and a guitar. You know what I mean? That whole like
Yeah.
moment.
Mhm.
See, like I said, you guys are great.
And the
descriptors.
weird part of my brain with that song, putting it together, was the idea that Whiskey Town was not just a place; it was also a state of mind. I couldn't go back to the bar.
Yeah.
I couldn't go back to the drink being
I'm
Whiskey
thinking
Town. I
clearer
couldn't
than
go back to the
ever- or I'm
relationship that
clearer
was
than I've ever been, or
dysfunctional.
Yeah.
something
So there
is
was-
one of the
Yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that we go. He begins to start to put his life back together, I guess you'd say. So frequency, as he starts to think back on relationships he's had, on to Marianne, who is the first of the helping people along the highway, is Marianne, and which we played, and then Broken Lines, which he's helping another person along the highway, actually part of Jody's
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my mom, my mom's best friend had an affair with my dad, and it was very, very tough. Yeah.
Wow.
And so my mom packed us up in the car and drove us to Florida. And so Derek kind of intertwined that with our character
Maybe
kind
they had a
of
flat
imagining
tire.
that he helped us along the
Oh,
way.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was tough.
That's amazing.
I would wager that what you guys have with your art form is a form of therapy.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Not just for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It-
Just for us.
I mean, for your listeners, absolutely. But you guys live in this gift of being able to put words to these things, and maybe it's not necessarily that you feel a certain way in a moment, because I think that people think songwriting is very black and white, and it's I feel like I hate you or I feel like I love you, but a storyteller from start to finish. And so how does this album finish? What are the rest of the songs?
So it comes together then to Fragments is when he starts to realize, is there a way to begin to put his relationships back together? So he heads towards Fragments. And then we actually are doing a cover song for the first time ever on an album. We're doing Jason Isbell's Traveling Alone, because it's just the best trucker song ever. I mean, we just love that song. And we imagined our character hears that song. It's one of the
Yeah.
songs he's listening to as he's driving down the highway, and it kind of realizes it's time for me to see if I can put my life relationships back together. And then it ends with Quiet Years, which is in it. He begins to reunite with his
His wife.
from
From-
before.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, there's a
from the
love
beginning.
story that gets a guy.
And the Quiet Years,
Y'all
though,
are so cute.
the most that song has got just the greatest origin story, and we wrote it into the short story that went with it. But Quiet Years, we were playing in Divide, Colorado, about 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And we met this couple who were, I would estimate, in their 80s. They were newlyweds, and they were celebrating, and they were celebrating their honeymoon at our show.
At our show.
And so they told me that we took a break early, and then she said, like, we're newlyweds. We're on our honeymoon. And I said, congratulations. And it's like, wait a minute. Next break was, I've got to hear the story. And so the story goes that they were high school sweethearts and broke up, married other people, had full long, lifelong marriages to other
No
people.
way.
Both of their spouses passed away, and they reconnected on Facebook and got married.
Thanks, Zuckerberg.
And so we had to wrap up the album with this idea that, our character, the truck driver, meets them in a diner, and that, that is
It
the
prompts
impetus
him to go back
to make
and
the connection and
connect with
reconnect
her.
with his
Yeah.
wife. And so-
if songs and albums could be romance novels, because you just
Exactly.
took us, even just explaining the titles and the songs, you take us on a ride that I honestly cannot wait to go on. That is
Thank
so much
you.
fun, and that is very well crafted, and not unique, but to this era and to this day and age where we're so fascinated by getting stuff 15, 30 seconds at a time,
Yes.
for you to put the time and the effort and the work into an album that, again, the titles speak for themselves. We've got one more song we're going to hear from March to August. You are listening to the Musicians Corner on KPSQ, Public Square Community Radio. We are in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
This is Derek Mears and
And Jody Mears.
of March to August, and this is called Highways and Honky Tonks.
Highways and honky tonks, now my home. There's a bottle and an empty bar stool, I just can't leave them alone. It's caused me a world of hurt, and I'd be better off if I moved on. But highways and honky tonks, now my home. This scar's from the pool cue, she broke across my head. I know that I deserved it after all I said. You'd think I'd learned by now, I'd have grown to understand. But if I changed my ways now, be a homeless man. So highways and honky tonks are now my home. There's a bottle and an empty bar stool, I just can't leave them alone. This calls me a world of hurt, and I'd be better off if I moved on. But highways and honky tonks are now my home. I have to admit Sam's happier working behind his bar. Even though she threw me out and my world's falling apart. 'Cause every Friday night we'd hit his door 3 drinks in. Before the night was through, we'd end up throwing us out again. So highways and honky tonks are now my home. If there's a bottle and an empty bar stool, I just can't leave them alone. This calls me a world of hurt, and I'd be better off if I moved on. But highways and honky tonks are now my home. I'll be regretting my mistakes and thinking, changing my ways as I'm rolling down 75. Till I see that sign for Sam's Lucky Dollar off exit 99. Highways and honky tonks are now my home. If there's a bottle and an empty bar stool, I just can't leave them alone. It calls me a world of hurt, and I'd be better off if I moved on. But highways and honky tonks are now my home. Highways and honky tonks are now my home.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more question?
Go by all means.
So,
do
how
it.
did we come up with this name?
That's
Should
a
we just
great question.
Summertime?
So we started-
Spring and summer.
as Amanda knows, we started out as Route 358, which was
Okay.
our birth months. March,
Yeah.
Jody was August, and Jade, our daughter, was May.
Yes, so 358.
And so March to August kind of formed with this idea of first of paying tribute to 358 by just taking the 3 and calling it March and the 8 becoming August, but then the bigger piece was when we started thinking about this idea of March to August, we looked in historically all of the significant marches that have taken place throughout history were
At least American history.
between the months, took some time between the months of March and August.
Wow.
And so that idea of that, all of these, this part was like, okay,
There's a lot of significance.
there's a lot of
Yes.
significance, not only just the months we were born and paying tribute to where we started with our daughter, also paying tribute to the things that we believe and we feel are big
Important.
pieces, important
Yeah.
pieces of history.
Civil rights movement,
Yeah.
women's suffrage,
Women's March, all of those were
all of those things about being a good
March to
human.
I love the way you've tied it all in together and you've brought it all here today to share it with us. So
Thank you.
again, thank you for coming in today, Derek and Jody Mears, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you please go check them out. Tune into our Facebook,
Musicians.
tune into our Instagram, tune into our YouTube. You can find it at Amanda Ray. I'm Amanda Ray, REY. I believe our guest next week is going to be Corey McKelvey.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that Hillberry lineup just dropped, and I know she's on it. And I don't know if you know anything about it. Rhea doesn't know about. All right, we're gonna have to go because I got to go teach Rhea about Hillberry before we're back next week. We will see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.
See you later.